Caleb Porter is with us again, and Caleb, our producer, T-Bone, played that one just for you, knowing that you once saw Dave at Red Rocks. Is that right? Red Rocks, where you were?
Yes.
How was the venue?
Yes.
Was it as great as it's made out to be?
Yeah. No, it was unbelievable. I've seen Dave, I think 5 times, but that was for sure the best venue that I've seen him at. Hoping to see him again as well, but not much time during the year. So, is he coming to Gillette? Does he ever come to Gillette?
He's coming.
I don't think so.
He's
going
coming
to Xfinity.
He's coming to Mansfield tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay.
It's right down the road. Your game's not until Saturday. You know, maybe you can sneak over there.
You got tickets? I'll go.
I'll tell you what. You get the tickets, we'll go.
All right. There we
Shut
go.
up. Yeah.
All right, you get the tickets.
Is that a promise?
Oh, that's a time right there, buddy.
McCone and I are in.
Yeah.
McCone and I will go. If you,
I'm not.
You've got way better hookups than we do. You know, everyone thinks the radio guys have the hookups. We don't have crap.
No.
Yeah.
We don't have anything.
You guys don't want to hang out with me.
I absolutely do.
I'd hang out. That's how you find out about people.
Good.
Hey,
Good. I'd like that.
You've been busy. Not a lot of time for hot dogs and fireworks, so to speak. Here, 1-0-2 in your last 3. You guys got a lot of injuries now. What's the biggest thing that's hampering this team right now, as you look at it?
I mean, we've won 5 out of the last 7, so we've actually done really well in this stretch. I think in June we were the highest points per game of any team in the league. The last week we won 1 out of the 3. Big win against Atlanta, though. That was a massive win midweek. We knew Seattle would be difficult with the travel. They didn't have a midweek game, and we had a lot of injuries. But I'm really pleased with the points that we're getting. Obviously, the form that we're in, but I don't think it's a coincidence. We won 4 games in a row, and since we lost Carles Heel, who's our captain and our best player and a designated player, we haven't been flying quite as well, especially in the attack. But very optimistic when I see the Atlanta game and that result that we got. We had a bunch of injuries and we were able to beat a very good team. So I'm hopeful against Atlanta that we can do the same in that game.
I want to follow up real quick on that travel. You mentioned going to Seattle. Now, Dylan Barrero traveled for that game. He was a scratch. How tough is that on a player? That's no easy flight.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 6 hours, I think, total. And the big thing is just you're playing a team that didn't play midweek, so they could prep all week for us. We get maybe a day to prep, and physically it's difficult. So yeah, the travel's difficult. It's hard to lose a guy in warm up too, because he was planning to play and pulled himself in warm up. So now we got to slide that guy in right before the game, change everything in terms of set pieces and all that. So that made it difficult. But we were there. We were there at 1-0 till the very end of the game. I was proud of the performance overall, and like I said, really pleased with the form right now. I mean, we win this next game, we're in the playoff zone for the first time on the year.
Giacomo Vrioni with 5 goals in 5 games and had 2 goals in the win against Atlanta. Is this something that he can keep up? Is this a sustainable pace for him?
Yeah, I think so. He's doing well. Working really hard. Like you said, he's been producing like our team, a lot better. We just need to stick with this trend that we've been on, and we've got 3 games until kind of a break. So 2 of those are at home. We need to pick up as many points as possible. And, it's just a important thing mentally for us. If we could sit on that break in that playoff position, that would be huge for us, especially with the hole that we were in and all that we've been through. So this is a big game coming up this Saturday.
You mentioned it, digging yourself out of that hole, now only 2 points below the playoff line. So has the messaging to the team kind of changed a little bit, where it's not so much about seeing that progress, but you guys are really going for it?
Yeah, I mean, we want to make the playoffs. That's always been the goal. That's never changed. Obviously, we have more hope on that with the amount of points we picked up in June and the way that we've played. So, locker room really has belief right now and confidence, which they didn't have enough of when we weren't getting results. So the morale's really good right now. I just think the toughest part is in that 4-game stretch where we won all 4, we had everybody healthy, we had good continuity, we were rolling, and if we can get back to that, I think we have a very good chance to make a run. But Carlos is out, Tomas Chancla is out. We have 2 of our 3 DPs out. And then Dylan is really like a young designated player, as talented as he is. So we have to just find a way to win this game. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't even care if we play well. We need to find a way to get a win on Saturday. And if we do, that'll go a long way, just for us entering that last kind of stretch of season, really, because after these next 3 games, we only have 11 games left. It's gonna happen really quickly.
Yeah, it's obviously an important one as it relates to standings and where Orlando City sits and where you sit and all of this. But as you mentioned, this is now like a bit of a stretch again. 3 games in the course of a week. How do you manage all of that with missing the guys that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's tough because you can't rotate. Usually when you're, like if we're where we're at, we have a good 1-2, and we can rotate 3-4 guys each game, and that helps with a little bit of energy and bringing on some fresh legs. But with where we're at, we had to pull up actually a Revs 2 player who ended up playing in the match. So we're very thin. Our top group is fine, good enough for me to get a result. But when we have to sub or rotate in the next game, for instance, after this Saturday game, we play Philly on the road, then it starts to get really tough. So I don't even want to think about that right now other than throwing ourselves, take each game as it comes and throw ourselves in this next game. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do after that.
Caleb, last question from me. I want to ask you about the U.S. men's national team. Embarrassing showing. They fire head coach Greg Berhalter. Your opinion on that, and what do you think the team potentially needs, and what type of coach would fit that for the betterment moving forward?
Yeah, I always hate when coaches get fired. I know Greg really well. I actually took over for him in Columbus. But like you said, bottom line is they didn't get the job done in the tournament. And, I think the decision was based on this being a very talented group. And the Federation, they want to do well, obviously, in this World Cup that's on home soil. So I understand the decision completely, and I'm excited to see, who they're going to hire. There's a lot of talk of options and some of these foreign coaches are throwing out. I mean, if they're able to actually get, a Klopp, Pochettino, some of these guys that are throwing around, I mean, that would be unbelievable. Because it'd be interesting to see what those coaches would do with this group. It's a very talented group. And this is our best shot on home soil with the talent we have. This is the best shot we've ever had in the history of our sport to really do something special in this World Cup.
So, I've got to ask you, not to minimize what you do in your role as coach or what any coach does of a team, but why is it all being put on Berhalter? Because it feels like it is, and I understand maybe, there are things to critique and second guess, but why hasn't USA Soccer gotten better, significantly better over the course of the last, not few years, but 10, 15, 20 years? Why are they not competing at the highest level more regularly, given the resources, given the, population of players to kind of pull from? Why is the team not better by now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It always falls on the coach. Always, right? It's the same in club soccer, right? It's always going to fall on the coach, but it's bigger than that. So So they gotta now put their money where their mouth is, and they gotta if they're gonna get rid of the coach and blame on the coach, then now they have to. From there, there's no excuses, right? And get the right coach then, if that's the problem, and get the job done. We've consistently gotten out of the group stages at a World Cup. That's not been a problem, but we've rarely made a run. In fact, the last time we made a run was Bruce Arena was in charge, and we made the quarterfinals. And since then, we've not. We've just lost in the next round after the group stages. So this is the team. This is the year. Like I'm saying, there's no excuses. This is the year to do it. And if it's the coach, then okay, spend some money and hire the best coach in the world. If it's the coach.
All right, we saw a wild scene in Copa America, the semifinals last night with the brawl in the stands. Give me a great story. What's the craziest thing you've seen?
Oh, that was crazy last night. I've actually never seen anything like that. Other than what in NBA basketball when the Pistons, what was the?
Yeah, the Malice in the Palace. Yep.
Artest.
That was crazy. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name because it's changed so many times. But craziest thing I've seen. We've played a lot of times in these CONCACAF Champion Cups tournaments overseas, and it gets pretty crazy over there. I remember we played in Honduras against Olympia, and the stadium was packed. It was in their Olympic Stadium, and at halftime, literally the tiles from the ceiling were falling on us as players and coaches because the stands were right over the top of the locker room, and they were jumping so hard on the top of our locker room that it was falling apart on top of us. And then they told us if we won the game to go to mid pitch because the fans would come on the field and might try to kill us. So if we won the game, so that was pretty crazy. And there were bags of piss being thrown on the field.
Nice.
People spitting on us. Like there was a couple. There were nails thrown with barbed wire on the field at us. Like it was nuts. So that's in those environments. It's scary, actually. And we had an FBI agent that actually escorted us the entire time we were in Honduras, and he told us stories of why we shouldn't leave the hotel because he's had to take American tourists that were held hostage and pull them out of places and what they went through. So we were in El Salvador as well, where the MS, I always get it wrong. MS, what's the game?
MS-13.
Yeah, MS-13s were a block away from our hotel, and we were playing out in El Salvador. So it gets pretty crazy in these countries, and they're so passionate about the game, and it's literally life or death for them.
Did those bags burst when you threw them? Yeah, they were bursting, and it was not fun. So made you want to get out of there. You didn't even care what happened. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, Caleb, good to talk to you again. Good luck this weekend.